Shalom. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of great millstone that taught us this truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful like Akim, teaching and preaching this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. This is Yahweh. Today's lesson is entitled, The End of the Petrodollar Could Accelerate Global De-dollarization. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, which are the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. And as always, the sit-downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, and to use the gospel preached. So, as of late, you had the Saudi Arabians. They basically did not renew their contract in regards to having their oil be purchased in a dollar currency. All right. And you have these financial advisors speaking about how big of a deal this is. Now, we know Esau, Edom, which when we talk about these Edomites, we're talking about the global elites, the Edomites that's in a position of power, the 1%, the shadow government, the bankers. We know that their ultimate agenda is to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive this technology in their hand to buy and sell with. We call it the MOTB. And in order for them to get there, we have to see these type of events happen, where the petrodollar is no longer, the way in which you purchase your oil. All right, these Saudi Arabians, they are now expanding, basically expanding their business to accept other currencies that are outside of the petrodollar, right? Outside of the American currency, which will then put the American currency in danger to be de-dollarized. And I got some of these terms here, and we're going to go into them. So if I remember, I'll put this article in the chat. So it says the petrodollar is dead, and that's a big deal. The petrodollar quietly died this week. While it didn't get big headlines, the demise of the petrodollar could mean big trouble for a U.S. government that depend on dollar dominance to support its borrowing and spending. So this spells trouble with the banks. This spells trouble with your job. This spells trouble with this economy. This pretty much spells trouble for the lifestyles of these Americans. All right, we know that the scriptures speak about wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth. This Western culture have polluted the world. These people here in America, which is Babylon the Great, hey, they don't think no type of hardship is coming. The whole theory of grinding it out and picking up the extra job and picking up more work and OT, that's not finna solve your financial problems. If anything, that's going to draw you further and further into health problems, going to draw you further and further into this position where you think you can deliver yourself out of this financial crisis that everybody is in. So it says petrodollar refers to the dollar's role in crude oil transactions. In the wake of 1973 oil crisis, Saudi Arabia agreed to conduct all oil transactions in dollars and invest its own oil surplus funds in U.S. treasuries in exchange for U.S. military support. So, this is a deal that they made. All right, we'll basically have our oil be purchased in dollars in exchange for military support, so on and so forth. It says the agreement was boom for the dollar and was key in submitting the greenback as the world reserve currency. Due to Saudi Arabia's prominent role in global oil trade, the agreement had a far-reaching effect. As a result, virtually all of the world's global oil transactions were priced in dollars. This ensured a constant demand for dollars. Every country needed them to buy oil. This demand for dollars supported the U.S. government's borrow and spend, basically supported the banks' policies, along with massive deficits. As long as the world needed dollars for oil, it guaranteed demand for the greenback. That meant that the Federal Reserve, the banking system, could print more dollars and issue more treasuries than it could have otherwise. As an article published by NASDAQ.com reported, the agreement created a captive market for U.S. government. Yeah, it put America in a position of power, great dominance. because with the American dollar being the standard to buy oil, shit, everybody got to go to these Edomites for once of all things. It says Zero Hedge explain how the process works. One of the core staples of the past 50 years and the anchor propping up the dollar's reserve status was a global financial system based on the petrodollar. This was the world in which oil producers would sell their products to the U.S. and the rest of the world for dollars, which they could then recycle the proceeds in dollar-dominated assets, and while investing in dollar-dominated markets, especially prop up the USD as the world reserve currency. And in this process, backstop the standing of the U.S. of the world's undisputed financial superpower. Once again, America having oil to be sold in dollars, that really put America in a position to be the leading country, the number one. It says on June 9th, the agreement expired and it doesn't appear it will be renewed. This opens the door for the Saudis to sell oil in currencies other than the dollar. So what does that mean? That means the value of the dollar is going to diminish. And we're going to see ripple effects in this economy. You thinking, hey, you mad that grocery prices are high now? You mad that rent prices are high now? To refinance a house is extremely expensive now. Wait until this really settles. Shit is going to get even more expensive. Homelessness is going to go up. Crime is going to go up. This could lead us to Jacob's trouble. All right. It says the end of the agreement. Let me go down a little bit. So it says potential ramifications of the petrodollar demise. The end of the petrodollar could accelerate global de-dollarization, and that will be a disaster for the U.S. economy. Now, I have this word de-dollarization here, and there's a lot of articles coming out about, this topic. So it says, what does de-dollarization mean for the U.S.? What does de-dollarization mean? De-dollarization involves reducing the U.S. dollar's dominance in global markets by substituting it as the primary currency for various financial transactions. So they're going to use another form of currency to buy and sell oil with, such as trading oil or other commodities, foreign exchange reserves, and bilateral trade agreements. So you can continue reading on that. Basically, de-dollarization is the downfall of the dollar, basically, just to sum it up. All right. Now, what's interesting is you had this annual meeting where these European countries come together and they, discuss economic policies and security issues. All right. The G7. And the G7 purpose is this. The G7 is an informal forum with the annual summit, the meeting together of these nations. Summit is a mountain. You read about in the scriptures on how the Lord is going to destroy in these mountains. All right. The Lord is going to destroy these governments that came together in purpose to, push forth their agenda. It says, and the summit is the peak of a mountain. It says to discuss economic policies, how they deal with their economy, pushing laws and legislation to, give the illusion that we're supporting this economy, and security measures, military efforts. The members are Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and the United States. So this is the G Summit. And they all, prioritize the dollar as the main currency to buy oil. So now when you go here to this article, oh wait, where is it at? I just had it somewhere. It was saying how the Saudi Arabians, they I think it's here. Yep. Saudi Crown Prince cancels G7 summit attendance due to Hajj commitments, which is fluff. But the point is, hey, they're canceling these meetings. They're not dealing with the dollar no more. Arab nations is the, the controller of all the crude oil, so on and so forth. So this is a major move that could affect, or that will affect, primarily America's economy. All right, so they're counseling. They didn't want to pull up to the G7 meeting. All right, let's see. Let's read a little bit of this. It says Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman has declined an invitation to attend the commission session of the G7 summit in Italy on Friday. He sent a message to Prime Minister Giorgio Meloni thanking her for the invitation, but said he is unable to participate because of his obligation to supervise the work of officials in the kingdom during Hajj season. The Saudi Prince Agency reported on Wednesday the prince noted the strength of the relationship between their countries and wished Italian authorities success in hosting the summit, which is all fluff. You see, these other nations, they linking up with Russia, China, these BRICS nations, because it's looking like they're going to be the next superpower that's going to lead the charge. But little do they know, the scriptures speak about Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So you can continue reading now. I just want to get those articles. Now, we're going to, let me see something. We're going to get this in Ecclesiastes 12. A lot of these articles, these are ex-financial advisors or people who, study the finances. They look at the trends. They look at the data to see how things are trending economically for whatever country. The scriptures speak about how the keepers of the house is going to mourn. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. You want to come in this truth, repent and convert and worship the true power when you're young. Now, with balance, the Lord do have older men in the truth. All right. But the point is, it's good for you to bear the yoke when you're young because you can grow in the truth. You can have experience, while serving Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And ultimately, you can spend more time in the truth than you were in the world. All right. It says, and you want to do this before the evil days come. We speak about Jacob's trouble, which is all these said perils coming to pass. The pestilence, the love of many waxing cold, neighbor against neighbor. These animals getting on people, famine. All right. Rape, robbery, murder. It's going to be off the hook. It's going to be just like those post-apocalyptic movies we be watching on these video streaming apps. Nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Yeah, you want to come in this truth before you get old and set in your ways. Verse 2, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened or the clouds return after the rain. Now, this is twofold. It's going into the destruction, which will be by thermonuclear destruction during World War III. And you will also have the laser beams being shot out of the chariots of Israel. All right, it's going to be the fire of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua upon the earth. Now, the smoke is going to lift up to the heavens. It's going to block out the sun, moon, and the stars. Scriptures call it the dark day of the Lord. But this is also speaking about knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The information that is contained in the scripts. All right, which is likened to lights. All right, scriptures speak about arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. Then it further speaks about how it's going to be gross darkness to people. So light is synonymous with information, and darkness is synonymous with being ignorant and oblivious and not knowing what the hell is going on. So when it's speaking about coming in the truth, while the verse 2 again, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened or the clouds return after the rain. So you want to come in this truth before the destruction and before the Lord removed his word, before the clouds return after the rain, before the nuclear destruction. Here's the point. Verse 3, in a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble. What is the keeper of the house? When you go here to, let me see, etymology. When you go here to etymology online, you look up the word economist. Right? Etymology means root word. You see, it says household manager. All right. It says student of a political environment. So what it's saying is when the keepers of the house shall tremble, when the financial advisors tremble. All right. Why would they tremble? They looking at the world. They looking at the data. They looking at the finances. They seeing people in debt. They seeing how hard it is to refinance a house. Well, it's not hard. It's just that why would somebody refinance their house if they have a mortgage rate with an APR of 4% and refinance their house and get something that's 7 or 8%? So it just makes no sense financially to do refinances, whether it's for your house, your car. A lot of these businesses, in order to keep their payroll moving efficiently, they have to get loans from banks to make sure they pay their workers. And that's another reason why a lot of jobs are laying off people, because the cost to run a business dealing with these banks has gotten very expensive. But the point is, the keepers of the house, these financial advisors or these economists, they have access to that information, and they're going to tremble. Why? Because they're not going to see a bright future for this place. In a day when the keepers of the house shall tremble and the strong man shall bow themselves, the military, Hey, America is looking very weak over there in the Middle East. They bullying, they causing G-side, Meanwhile, these other nations that were once weak, they're now becoming strong because they have the nuclear technology. They have all this sophisticated military weaponry that they've gotten from Russia, So America is bowing themselves. The strong man is bowing themselves. You got a whole bunch of people from the alphabet community in the military. They got these TikTok videos of these army recruits in there, and they look like little bitty kids with makeup on and weak men. All right. And then, it's going to segue to a draft. They're going to be picking up anybody off the street to go and fight in the Middle East, especially with the economy going to shit. People ain't going to be having nothing to do. They done lost their job. Hey, I guess it's cool. We go ahead and go and fight the world war. We could hop on the plane, go across the country and get paid, So, hey, man, a lot of woes is coming. But as it says here, and the strong man shall bow themselves and the grinders cease because they are few. Talking about the jobs. So while this time period is happening, you got brothers waking up to the truth before the evil days come. All right. Before, the famine of the word happens and before the total destruction, you're going to have these financial advisors trembling. You're going to have the military looking weak. You're going to have job shortages. That's the grinding. When Jake say he working, and Jake is short for Jacob, and we're talking about the Israelite man, he say, yeah, I'm going out here. I'm finna go get my grind. I'm about to go grind, get on the grind. So the grind has ceased because there are a few job opportunities is getting limited. With the increased operation of AI pretty much taking all the jobs from these people that's in the corporate world, the job market is screeching. Just check the YouTube. There's a lot of people complaining about how the job market is right now and how it's impossible to get a job. And when you do get a job, they're offering you a low salary. You got to do all these stages of interviews and so on and so forth. So the grind has ceased because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. Going back to the financial advisors and the economists, they don't see a bright future, man. All right. And it's going to be a domino effect in your neighborhood. Expect a lot of crime, home invasions. The scriptures speak about that. It says, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, the business is closing. When you drive around your city, you see a lot of leasing business, a lot of commercial real estate that got for lease signs in the front of them. They're closing their doors. A lot of people went to remote work. And, hey, commercial real estate is getting up there. If you got a business and you want to rent you out a spot to run your business out of, you're talking about $2,500, $3,000 a month for something small. But the point is, these business closures, when the sound of the grind is low, and he shall raise up at the voice of a bird, meaning he's waking up early looking for work. And all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Going into the entertainment, the music is brought low. Look at Meg Thee Stallion, Coi Leray, Nicki Minaj, Scar Lip, all these different, rappers, all the drill music. It's just low vibration, putting more demons on people. So the point is, while all this stuff is happening, you're going to have these different things to look after, and we see it, So financial advisors is not seeing a bright future for America's economy. And with the Saudis not renewing their not renewing their petrodollar agreement, is just going to further drive this economy into shit. So be prepared. We, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we gave the warning about Jacob's trouble. We're going to get uncomfortable. We're going to lose certain things. But we have Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, which will uphold us. All right, let me get a balance a little bit in the Psalms. It's not all doom and gloom. The Lord is going to come through for his men. All right. Man, you want to read the whole chapter, Psalm 37, but I want to get to the point. Because you got to have a balance in these lessons. Psalm 37, verse 18, Yahweh adorneth the days of the upright. The upright is what we call them today, the hopeful elect. All right. How does the Lord know the days of the upright? He put the spirit on them to do what he wants them to do. Man's goings are of the Lord. There's no such thing as free will. It says in their inheritance shall be forever the kingdom, which is rulership of the Israelites in the earth. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time, like we were reading in Ecclesiastes 12:1. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, before the evil days come. All right, this is talking about Jacob's trouble. In the days of famine, they shall be satisfied. So when all hell is breaking loose and this economy crashing and it's experiencing that evil time, look, the men of the Lord, those that seek after Yahweh Bashim Yahushua in spirit and truth, they're going to be satisfied. They're going to be taken care of. Verse 20, but the wicked shall perish and the enemies of Yahweh shall be the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke. They shall consume away. So Esau, these nations, and 2/3 of Jake, they're going to get destroyed. All right. This current destruction that's coming to America isn't to destroy the elect. All right. We have to go through these trials and tribulations, these lower states, these afflictions. All right. To try our spirits, think it not strange, the fiery trial, which is to try you, as it is written in 1 Peter, the fourth chapter. So we got to go through these things so we can prove ourselves to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to, number one, have our faith increase, have our hedge of protection increase, and to secure our position for salvation. All right, which ultimately it's all predestination, but the Lord will put the spirit on those that are of the elect to have this type of mindset. So hey, keep watching. Things is finna get shaky. Hold on, Akim. I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Shalom, Akim. Stay strong.